500 years ago, locals transformed this quiet village church into a towering landmark with cathedral-like proportions. Find out where it is and where the money to do it came from in just a few moments. Today's house hunting couple are wearing their hearts on their sleeve.
Lovely. It's a me room.
Is it a Ken room, a Ken house yet?
Very close.
And the character of our properties brings out ever more dramatic reactions.
This is probably something you see in the movies, I think. Unbelievable.
Today I'm in Suffolk, and this is the magnificent church of St Peter and St Paul in Lavenham. From the 14th to the 16th century, this village was the centre of Suffolk's wool trade. At the height of its prosperity, local merchants were keen to show off their wealth, so they funded the building of this impressive nave and flint tower, which rises up to more than 140 feet. Lavenham's cloth and wool-making status crumbled away in the 17th century, but preserving its architecture is a cause célèbre these days. This church and more than 300 other listed buildings here are an enduring reminder of those boom years. Located in East Anglia, Suffolk is bordered by the North Sea to the east and shares land borders with Norfolk, Cambridgeshire and Essex. The county's heritage coastline stretches for 45 miles over fine golden sands and pebble beaches. Seaside towns include Southwold with its rows of iconic brightly coloured beach huts built in the 1960s. Several tidal rivers running out to the North Sea make for many fascinating places to explore by boat. Arthur Ransom, the author of the well-known children's series Swallows and Amazons, sailed and kept a boat here. And he set the books We Didn't Mean to Go to Sea and Secret Water in the area. Inland, the unique low-lying landscape around Dedham Vale inspired one of the country's most famous landscape painters, John Constable, to paint some of his most well-known works. Pretty market towns include Bury St Edmunds. Originally designed on a grid system by monks of the Abbey in the 11th century, it offers an intriguing combination of medieval architecture, elegant Georgian squares and a cathedral. So whether it's coast, countryside or ecclesiastical architecture you're after, Suffolk is a wonderful place to plan an escape to. The Suffolk property market offers good value for money when you consider that the average cost of a detached home here is £275,000, just under £10,000 below the national figure. However, there are hotspots to the south of the county, such as the well-connected villages of East Bergholt and Neyland. In seaside resorts like Southwold and Aldborough, you could pay double the national average for a coastal property. Luckily, the picture does become more affordable as you head north towards the Norfolk borders. So which part of the Suffolk countryside do today's buyers want to settle in? Let's meet them. Ken and Debbie from Leigh-on-Sea in Essex first met as teenagers 36 years ago.
My friend asked for my opinion on a girl that worked in the hairdressers. And he pointed her out and I went, yeah, she's a nice-looking girl.
He kept coming in for a haircut more than when he needed it, really and truly, so got attracted to each other, and the rest is history, really. It's like 31 years. Am I right on that one?
Yeah, 31 years married, 5 years courting.
Kids came along and they soon found juggling the demands of family life as well as Ken's insulation business in Tilbury didn't leave much time for anything else.
Our current lifestyle is very busy.
You're always looking at the calendar, and before you know it, it's nearly Christmas again. Yeah. I'm sure a year goes quicker when you're running a business.
Now the kids have left and Ken and Debbie are finding their large home is just one more demand on their time and budget.
We've now realised this place is just too big for us now.
50, maybe 60% of the property we're not using, but we have to go round and run it, maintain it and keep on top of it.
Get something that I can do my housework in about one day instead of 3 days. Something smaller, get it done and off we go.
The only way you're going to get time is to make the time, and it's to make difficult decisions because you don't know what's around the corner. You've got to live for today, really, sometimes, if you can afford to do it, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Added to the demands put on them by the size of their current house and mortgage are the stresses of living in an area popular with commuters and London day trippers.
As the summer holidays come along, it gets very busy, very busy. It is really a commuter area. You've got a lot of people working in the banks and insurance industry in the city that travel from here into London. Everything seems to be rushed, and what I really want is that amount of time to do things in my own time and enjoy them.
The best way to free themselves up is a move to more rural and more affordable surroundings.
We're going to get away from the rat race of living where we are now, offload our mortgage so we haven't got that worry anymore, and really start to unwind and start to enjoy life. We're looking to move to Suffolk because it's just a nice, pretty county.
What we've seen so far is the picturesque villages. The lifestyle seems a lot slower. We'd like to be part of that, and it's not that far away. We was always travelling through Suffolk, and we said, right, this would be about the perfect distance to be, and we can visit and they can visit us.
They hope a less hectic pace will give them a better quality of life.
I'm really looking forward to the wildlife side of things and taking the dogs for long walks, and all of a sudden you'll stumble upon a little pub and it's, oh, let's go and have a drink or let's have a bit of lunch.
I'm looking to join a golf club and be playing at least once a week and really look forward to that and get my handicap down.
But most of all, they want to enjoy each other's company.
We want to spend more time together, and I feel that this move is going to give us that option to do that.
I'd like to think that this is going to give me a lot more time with Deb. It's turning that page and starting another chapter.
Quite exciting, isn't it, really?
I find that really exciting.
Ken and Debbie have asked us to concentrate our search around the towns of Bury St Edmunds and Stowmarket, close to road links back to Essex. But before we start looking at houses, I'm meeting them in the county to get a clearer understanding of what they want from their country relocation.
Welcome to Suffolk.
Hello.
What attracts you to this area?
The history, the houses and the slower pace of life here.
We often drive through with a motorhome when we're going to holiday in Norfolk, and we just really like the county.
And it's not too far from where you currently are either, is it?
No, it's about an hour.
Yeah, we still can nip back to visit family. I may have to go into work 2 or 3 days a week, so it's not a major commute.
Tell me about the house that you're looking for. What would you like it to look like?
We're both looking for different houses, I think.
Mr.
Debbie
Renovator.
And Debbie would like it all done.
I don't mind a little bit of renovating, but I obviously mean by that wallpaper and new bits and pieces, so I don't really want to start having to build the place again or anything like that. Kitchen diner I'm looking for, or room to put a large kitchen diner on. A
nice sort of comfortable lounge area for retiring in the evening. Probably three bedrooms would do us,
three bedrooms, at least 3 bedrooms, for when the boys or the family come up to stay.
We don't want a large garden because we want to be away a lot in the motorhome, but we do need a large front on the property to put the motorhome on.
We just want a little garden that doesn't take us very long to maintain or do. Shut the back door, lock up the house and off we go for the weekend. That's the main thing.
What about location? Where in the county would you like to live?
I think we're looking at North Suffolk, a rural area, and with close access to the A14 for commuting back to work and visiting.
And remind me of your budget then?
Budget is 400,000.
And if we really, really, really fall in love with something and it's just right, maybe we could go...
425, yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. And we've got 3 great properties lined up.
Oh, lovely.
So let's get cracking.
Great,
lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
With a budget of £400,000, but some room to stretch for the right property, Ken and Debbie are looking to downsize, but still have some important needs from their new country home. They want a large kitchen diner, a good-sized lounge, and at least 3 bedrooms. They'd like a low-maintenance garden for the dogs and off-road parking for their motorhome. Plus, they want good road access back to friends, family and Ken's business. We've found 3 fantastic properties to tempt them with, and at each one I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. One, of course, will be our mystery house, which could well put a new design on their search. But first on our agenda is house number 1.
So, Debbie, it sounds like you're more ready to slow down than Ken. Is that right, Ken?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a bit more difficult for me to slow down.
How different do you want this home to be to the one that you are currently living in?
I would like a smaller back garden. Really a large kitchen diner I'm looking for, because our kitchen's quite small and we're both really looking at getting into cooking together, doing a bit of cooking.
Yeah, that's something we'd like to do, is a bit more cooking together.
Mindful of the need to remain within reach of Essex, the first house is located in the village of Barking, 5 miles southeast of Stowmarket and 2 miles west of Needham Market. As well as amenities including a post office and pubs, Needham Market features a flint church that dates all the way back to the 15th century and a Grade 2 listed old station building completed in 1849. 2 miles away back in Barking, the village hall hosts activities including carpet bowls, an art group and the WI, after which you could enjoy a drink at the local pub. At the centre of the village is the Tye, a word for a common only found in parts of West Suffolk and adjoining areas of Essex. And our first house is located right beside it.
The big thing about this property is what's on your doorstep. They believe it's the largest village tie in Suffolk.
Really?
There's enough space here for a motorhome, isn't there?
Definitely.
Yeah, I was just looking at that we can
Definitely.
just about get the motorhome in there.
What do you think about the house itself?
The character of the house have got that, and the dormers and the render and the colours in keeping with the Suffolk area. It's lovely.
Very characteristic. Can't wait to get in there and have a good look around, really.
Let's go.
This detached house was built just a decade ago and our buyer's first impressions are positive.
So it's a really nice-sized hallway which comes straight into this living room.
Oh, it's a nice room.
Yeah,
Very nice.
really nice.
I can see myself sitting in here. A lot of this is actually done to our taste as well, isn't it? Very pleased, very pleased. It's a perfect balance. You've got a lovely view of the common over there and the privacy of the trees and fencing there.
Very private. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, it's a me room.
Is it a Ken room, a Ken house yet?
Very close, very close. Yeah.
I'll take very close with the first room. Let's show you the kitchen. I know, not the kitchen diner you wanted.
It is a bit small.
There's really only space for a little breakfast table, isn't there?
Yeah.
Still a nice size.
I don't know if not having a ready kitchen diner is a deal breaker.
I wouldn't class it as a deal breaker. I'm just wondering whether perhaps we could, if there's room to build on, maybe.
I think you could be close to doubling the size of this with a conservatory type extension.
That would be nice.
That might be your answer.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Ken's wasted no time spotting an opportunity to put his renovating hat on in this house. There's already a separate dining room on this floor, as well as a handy downstairs cloakroom. Stairs take us up to a generous landing and 2 double bedrooms with countryside views, the largest to the front and another to the rear of the property, currently being used as a study. These 2 bedrooms sandwich a family bathroom. Then across the landing is a third good-sized double with its own shower room.
This is what I want to show you as the master.
Yeah.
Because there's an ensuite attached. And nice sets of wardrobes as well.
That's a nice sized room, actually. It's bigger than I thought it'd be.
It's a lovely room. I like this. This is a me room.
That is what you'd wake up to every day.
It's lovely, beautiful. Yeah, that is a very nice house, and I can see myself living here.
It's not too big, and it would be easy to maintain, and it's lovely.
OK, well, let's go and see your garden. I'm already calling it your garden.
Yeah.
With an overwhelming response to the inside of this house, let's head outside. Here, the fenced and gated grounds are private and secure. There are pleasant seating areas and a variety of mature shrubs and trees.
What do you think about the size of it?
Yeah, I think that's ideal. I'm not a gardener, and I don't want to spend too much time in the garden. I think I could stay on top of this garden with a few hours a year. The views are lovely. With the decking and the chairs up there, the views you got, that's fantastic. You can really relax out here. Lovely.
How much is this lovely going to cost you?
I'm going to go for 395.
OK.
I reckon 420.
It's on the market for £400,000.
I can understand that. It's a lovely property in a very nice location.
Something to ponder on.
Ponder inside, have another look around.
We would.
OK.
And I'll meet you at the front.
Thank you.
OK.
I think it's ideal for them. And hopefully they can make it work. But we, of course, have other properties to see, so I shouldn't get too excited.
Right on budget, this detached home has the 3 bedrooms they've asked for and is idyllically located next to a Thai, so benefits from scenic countryside views. There's also a low-maintenance garden, as well as off-road parking for the motorhome. And whilst it may not have the kitchen diner Debbie wants, it does have a large living room and separate dining room.
I think this is a lovely view, because
Yeah.
you've got the view of the common.
I could see me out there walking the dogs.
Very nice. Lots to think about. I love the first property from the moment I saw it, but I am looking for that large kitchen diner. I think with a little bit of tweaking here and there, we could perhaps make that into my dream kitchen diner. Apart from that, everything else works for me. Marks out of 10, I would say I'd give this a 9. Really, really like this house.
The lounge area, very inviting. I could see myself sitting in there, watching the football and the TV, and the common opposite the house. That was fantastic. And it's not that far, really, from the A14, the A12 for commuting to work. Lovely. I can't believe how many boxes this has ticked. I think it's going to take some beating.
I'm so pleased that you love this property.
I love this property.
Very nice. I had trouble getting her out.
Good start.
It is a great start, and we've got more to see.
Lovely.
Ken and Debbie hope their slower-paced Suffolk lifestyle will give them more time to spend cooking together in their new home. So we've lined up a visit to a farming family where they can get a taste of fresh produce directly from field to table. Nick Hardingham moved to the county with his wife to start a pick-your-own business.
Hello, welcome to Aldercar Farm.
Hi.
Good to meet you.
What's the history of the farm?
We came here in 1981. We were looking to dump our original jobs. We were 30 acres when we came here, and over the years we've expanded up to 50 acres.
What's in season at the moment?
Well, we're still picking quite a few different crops, but absolutely the best at the moment is the sweet corn.
This is a family affair, so it's over to Nick's son-in-law Barry to check out this year's crop of corn.
This is sweet corn. You know it's ready because it's got a brown tassel on the top. And if I just open this up, I'll let you try some. Do you like sweet corn?
Yeah, I do.
I've never tasted it, so
No?
this is new
If
for
you
me.
try a piece of this and see what you think, straight off the plant, it'll be
That's
very,
beautiful.
very sweet.
It's absolutely beautiful.
This is a pick-your-own, so Ken and Debbie do just that.
Just pull that downwards.
Give it a quick snap downwards. That's it. There you are.
Meanwhile, back in the farmhouse kitchen, Nick's wife Joan is ready to show them how to turn their freshly picked cobs into her version of sweet corn chowder.
Chowder is a kind of thick soup, and it's really quick and simple.
First, to get the corn off the cob.
You still have to dig your nail in a bit
Yeah.
to grab it.
Well, it's quite tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to give it a bit of a wiggle. What we're going to do now is cut these off.
So I've never done one of these before, so anything can happen.
Ken puts chopped onion, celery and some butter into the microwave to soften for 3 minutes. This then goes into a pan and Joan adds some flour to make a roux-based sauce.
I'm trying to avoid burning it. Don't be afraid to take it off.
No,
It's getting too hot.
In a separate pan, diced squash and potato is cooked in milk and seasoned with thyme. These are then added to the roux base, stirring to prevent lumps.
There we are. See, it starts looking really creamy.
It smells lovely.
It's seasoned with half a teaspoon of celery salt.
So what?
If you can't get that, could you use
just ordinary salt? Yes.
And lastly, in goes the sweet corn.
Just put that in slowly, or
No, just put it in.
put it all in?
Joan likes to stop cooking her chowder before the corn loses its crunch.
Right, I think that's done.
But what will Debbie make of her first ever taste of cooked sweet corn?
I like sweet corn. I think you've converted me. Good.
See, I'll be having some of this when I get home.
Yeah. Yeah, you will, actually. And you can cook it.
Our second house is located in the village of Wetheringset, 8 miles northeast of the town of Stowmarket and 5 miles northwest of the large village of Debenham. Debenham offers facilities such as a fish and chip shop, a butcher's and a pub. Its church has evidence of Norman and even Saxon work on the lower reaches of the bell tower, which gives what's considered one of the most mellow rings in the county. 5 miles away back in Wetheringset, the All Saints' Church was almost entirely rebuilt in the second half of the 15th century. What's believed to be the oldest surviving house in this village is a short stroll away.
So what we're looking at here is house number 2.
Right,
OK?
it's different. Where am I going to park my motorhome?
Can you see that telephone box just there?
Yeah.
There's an entrance.
Yeah.
That leads to a huge double garage and enough space outside of that garage to park your motorhome.
Sounds good.
Good, that sounds better.
The house itself
Yeah,
is end of
Right.
terrace.
Right. We'd have to think about that.
that's something we'll have to
I
think
know
about.
that's something you're not fans
Yeah.
of being attached to someone. But are you willing to give it a go?
Yeah.
Wait and see.
Let's go and see what the inside has to offer.
Right.
Arranged over 3 floors, this property dates back to the 16th century and has retained its historic character and period features whilst offering generous living spaces.
What do you think?
Wow, very nice.
It comes across so much older internally than it looks from the outside.
Well, come into the living room. Have a look at this.
Very characteristic, very cosy. Is it listed?
It is. Grade 2 listed. And you've got these little sections. The current family use this as a playroom.
Very different to us, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
truly.
It's making you think
Yeah,
what
and
you could do with it. This is open plan living. All the gaps through all the timber work.
I love the beams. They're not too dark, not too imposing. No, really, really nice.
Now, Debs, one of your big requests was a kitchen diner. That's what
Right.
I'm going to show you next. I think this is what you call a proper country kitchen diner.
This is probably something you see in the movies, I think.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
You've said you both want to do more cooking together. Is this
Yeah.
the kind of kitchen you can imagine doing that in?
I was just going to say, actually, you could do the cooking and I can sit there and watch.
Okay, right.
That's why she wanted a kitchen
Yeah.
diner. The diner bit
That's
for
the
her, the
reason.
kitchen
Yeah.
bit
To
for
watch
you.
me
Yeah.
cook. It has got that wow factor.
This is
when you
almost
come
your
in.
show kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a really nice size utility that comes with this kitchen where
Yeah.
all your washing machine, your fridge, everything's kind of hidden away.
I think in a way I feel kind of quite emotional with it, really, because it has really blown me away a little bit again, so...
I think when you take on a house like this, you take on the responsibility of the history, and you've got to maintain that, and you've got to keep it within character.
I know you're a little overwhelmed. Let's go and see the upstairs.
I'm not sure Ken and Debbie know quite what to make of this period property. On the ground floor, there are 2 staircases. The first leads to a double bedroom and a family bathroom. The layout is such that Ken and Debbie could choose to use this as their master suite. Next to it, more stairs lead to the top floor, where the largest bedroom, with its own walk-in wardrobe, is located. Alternatively, the second staircase on the ground floor leads off the kitchen, giving a further option for their master suite.
All you've got on this side of the house, above the kitchen, is this bedroom,
Yeah.
plus a bathroom, which is almost an ensuite.
Ensuite,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's its own private living quarter, really.
Looking at storage, where you'd put clothing and stuff like that, is it practical?
I think this is only practical to put your day-to-day things in.
Yeah.
Just here on the window seat, if you turn that into storage.
Ideal office?
It could be an office up here.
Yeah,
actually.
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a bathroom,
Yeah.
so I think it's quite flexible.
Yeah.
It seems our couple love the character here, but are still puzzling over whether the quirky layout would work for them. Outside is more straightforward, with an enclosed, good-sized rear garden, mainly laid to lawn.
Very low maintenance, so Ken can run the lawnmower around it.
Ideal for the dogs. It's big enough for him to have a run around.
The question now is, how much will this property set you back?
I think because it's semi-detached this time, 385.
OK.
I'm going to go with a little bit more. I'm going to go 395 again.
It is currently on the market for £365,000.
Right.
Well, something to think about, isn't it? Yeah.
Go and have another look around,
Yep.
Will do. Yeah, thank
Lovely.
you.
and I'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I've really confused matters, haven't I? But it's great to give them options, and I'm glad they're having a think about it.
£35,000 below their budget, this listed 16th century end terrace gives Debbie that kitchen dining space she craves. There are 3 bedrooms, all large enough to be masters, while outside there's parking for the motorhome and a dog-friendly garden.
Right. It's a nice garage. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be big enough to park the motorhome and keep it there. Just about get it up the side of the houses, but I think that's fine for parking.
I'm actually quite speechless with this house, to be honest with you. I'm not really 100% sure what to make of it. I just find it so enchanting. So I am really, really mixed up about this house. Could I get my head around being semi-detached? I'm not 100% sure on that. So I would really have to have a long, hard think. But there's so many pluses. I love the kitchen, the quirkiness of it. I wasn't sure what to make of the bedrooms because they are kind of all over the house. But on the second floor, we could really open that up. So there is lots of potential to do here and lots to think about. It is a contender for me.
I can just imagine this properly at Christmas time. It would be very, very humbling. Some areas of the house I didn't find very practical to live in. You're limited in what you can do. I think you've got to keep the character of the house. Storage is limited on what you've got in the bedroom. Whether it's for me, maybe for Debbie, but it is a lovely, lovely house.
I really have made you think about what you want from a property, haven't I?
Very confused. Need to
Yes.
think.
But I have to give you options. The good news is I'm not giving you any more today, so we can go and relax.
Husband and wife Ken and Debbie from Leigh-on-Sea in Essex are downsizing with £400,000 to find a slower pace of life in Suffolk. We've shown them 2 very different houses that could give them the new, more rural base they're after. But there's still the mystery house to see, which may well split opinion.
There's something I wanted to do at home and she said, no TV in the bathroom, but I think it's a good idea.
And I'm putting my nose to the grindstone at a working tide mill.
So this is the big start button, really?
This is a big start button.
All right, should we do it? Oh, I fear you might be doing most of the hard work.
I think so.
Our first 2 properties were very different in terms of age and style, and I think that's helping Debbie and Ken figure out what type of house they really want to live in. But there's no need to make a decision just yet, because today we show them the mystery house. It's certainly got plenty of style. The question is, will its grand design charm them? When we started this process, Ken, you were up for perhaps putting a bit of work in, but I sensed you were going Debbie's way yesterday.
Yes. All the houses we've ever had, I've developed and refurbished them. And then yesterday, when I walked into the first house that everything was done, there was this calmness come over me, which I've never had before when we've gone into a property looking at it. And I thought, wow, do you really want to refurbish another property? So it's opened my eyes, this 2 houses.
What are you both expecting from the mystery house, wanting from the mystery house?
I'm expecting it's going to be my biggest nightmare, the renovating job, because we haven't really seen anything like that at the moment. I don't know, I'm quite excited to find out, really.
The Mystery House is in the village of Woolpit, 12 miles northwest of Stowmarket and 10.5 miles east of Bury St Edmunds. With many facilities reflecting its status as the main cultural and retail centre of West Suffolk, Bury St Edmunds is a pleasant market town. The 14th century Abbey Gate, once a secular entrance for servants, leads to formal gardens and the cathedral. Around 10 miles away is Woolpit, where the village sign harks back to a strange 12th century legend of two local children who, it's said, would eat nothing but beans. With a little over 2,000 residents, there's an interesting museum, bakery and pub, whilst the church features fine flushwork, part of the perpendicular style of Gothic architecture. The Mystery House is located on a road leading out of the village, backing onto open countryside.
What do you think of the mystery house?
Well, completely different to the first two.
A very modern property, I think you'll agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like the entrance, the modern doors and the coloured window frames.
I did say I would like modern. Nothing to do, off we go.
This detached home was bought as a chalet bungalow 10 years ago by the current owners, who are interior designers. They completely remodelled outside and in. A small lobby leads straight into a large living room.
Wow.
Wow. It feels more spacious in here than it looks from standing outside.
These are oak floors from the local area. Don't miss the fireplace.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Real fire, an open fire.
Wow.
I know here your eye is drawn
I
towards
know, I
the
am.
kitchen, so let's head that way.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice,
That's
very
the
nice.
kitchen I've been looking for.
It's a high-spec German kitchen. Actually, I don't think there's much missing. You can eat over there on the breakfast bar, or you've got the dining room just here, so you've got eating options both sides.
I like the breakfast bar part of the kitchen. Yeah.
Look at those bifolds.
Yeah, that's lovely.
lovely.
Yeah. Flows in really nicely from the kitchen into that conservatory area.
Now, that may look like the back of the house,
Yeah.
but there's more. Follow me.
Right.
Running alongside the kitchen is a ground floor bedroom, wet room, and a utility space that leads into another very big room which should appeal to Ken.
Wow. A man cave, and a lot just like my snooker table. I used to have my office in my snooker room, so walking in here, it just takes me back. And,
Home from home then, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been done to a very high spec.
Tempted?
Yes, I'm tempted by all three. It's going to take a lot of talking over, I think, this is.
Should we head upstairs?
Yes.
So far, this looks like another contender for Ken and Debbie. As we head upstairs, we find contemporary style is taken to a whole new level.
Have a look at the bathroom.
That is fantastic.
Real mother of pearl tiles, a TV.
That's something I wanted to do at home, and she said, no TV in the bathroom, but really? I think it's a good idea.
There are two further bedrooms on this floor, a good-sized double and an even more spacious master.
Lovely room, lovely size room.
I like the colour of the floor. This works very well, very well.
Very nice, yeah. A lot to think about, a lot to ponder on still.
Well, let's go and take in the garden, see the house from the other side, and then we can discuss price.
Lovely, great.
Outside, there's plenty of parking for Ken and Debbie's motorhome, whilst a fenced, easy-to-keep rear garden offers secluded seating areas.
How would this garden work for you?
Nice size, not overlooked. Not too much lawn to mow, have you?
No.
Nice patio area. Room for the dogs.
Let's discuss money. How much is this design house on the market for?
I would say it's going to be top end of that budget, so I'd say 425.
I was going to say almost the same, so I think I would go in at 420.
OK. It is on the market for exactly £425,000, so we would need the very, very top of your budget.
Right, OK.
Are you reaching for your checkbook?
I think I might have to sit down and have a little discussion with you.
Have another look around.
OK, thank you.
And I'll see you in a bit.
OK.
Bye.
I'm glad I've surprised them with this house, but I have a feeling it might be that little bit too modern for them, but let's see.
Although this is £25,000 over budget, they have said they could stretch themselves for the right property. And this detached, uber-modern home does deliver on that large kitchen diner. There are 3 bedrooms, plus a luxurious wet room and bathroom. The fenced garden is private and perfect for the dogs, and there's off-road parking for the motorhome.
I really love this house. The kitchen diner is just me to a T, and the garden is absolutely wonderful. Bringing the outside in as well with the bifolding doors, just absolutely superb. Although I'm looking for modern, is it too modern for me? Maybe I feel I could be too old for this house, maybe. But we shall see, we'll see.
The kitchen is a definite plus. The garden is a plus. And the snooker room and bathroom areas, they are a plus. The modern design could be a minus for us, but for someone else, it would be a plus. The interior design is fantastic. Their taste, what they set out to do, I think they've achieved in this property.
Choices, choices, choices.
Ponder, ponder, ponder.
Tea?
Yes.
Let's go and get a cuppa.
With its coastline along the North Sea, Suffolk boasts many tidal rivers. As well as providing a picturesque haven for wildlife and sailors, their tidal power has been harnessed for milling since medieval times. Today I'm visiting a rare Grade 1 listed 18th century working tide mill, located on the banks of the Deben estuary, where Nigel Barrett, one of the volunteers keeping this building alive and open to the public, has offered to give me a tour.
What's so special about this mill?
There are now only, as far as we're aware, 3 working mills left in Europe and this country.
So how does this work?
How does it work? Well, all tide mills work by storing the water in a reservoir. As the tide comes in, it fills the pond. Then as the tide goes out, the water's trapped in the pond. We open sluice gates, water pours out at a great pressure, and that pressure can turn the wheel.
The original 7-acre mill pond would have worked the mill for 4 to 5 hours, producing up to half a tonne of flour each hour. It's now a marina, and the new, much smaller pond provides just half an hour of action at a time. Luckily, I'm here as the wheels are about to be set in motion.
There we go.
So this is the big start button, really?
This is a big start button. Yes, that's right.
All right, should we do it?
Shall we do it?
How heavy is this?
It's quite heavy.
OK, I fear you might be doing most of the hard
I
work.
think so. Dave?
Dave, you might need to help us.
You haven't jammed it, have you? No. I
OK.
think we need to...
Oh, God. Maybe I'll move out the way.
That's it.
I clearly was no help.
I have some way to go to make a miller, but this centuries-old mechanism is as efficient as ever.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, and we're already getting
And
flour.
we're already getting flour.
I'm just so impressed at how instantly it came out.
It all starts with the water wheel, which via cogs rotates a central shaft. This causes a nut above to turn the millstones, which then grinds the flour. But the water wheel is also used to power a hoist, taking the wheat grain to the upper levels of the mill where the flour-making process begins. With the grain bin filled, a simple shutter is opened, putting gravity to work.
So I just pull that out.
Pull that out.
As the grain flows down a chute towards the grinding mechanism.
So we've now charged the hopper with grain, and it'll be agitated by the damsel into the eye of the stone.
That's called a damsel.
Legend has it that they started calling it a damsel because when it's operating, it never stops chattering.
Like all the
Sorry
world's
about
greatest
that.
women.
Sorry about that.
After the damsel has done its work, controlling the flow of grain and coarseness of grind, it falls to the millstones. Unlike modern roller milling, which can separate the germ from the flour, stone grinding retains the germ and the husk, creating a higher protein whole grain product.
And this is the finished flour. And doesn't it look mighty fine?
You've got the bits of bran.
Yes, you can see
it.
yeah.
This is ideal for baking bread.
I like
Because
them.
this is high in protein, actually, you can get a better rise, and it gives a very good result.
Nigel, it's been brilliant to actually see the stone ground process.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Debbie and Ken are in a great position. They like all three of our properties, and each of them has most of the elements they've asked for. So now it's just a case of figuring out which one suits them the most. Let's see if they've been able to make a decision. So, what have you decided? Because, in a way, you quite liked all three houses, didn't you?
We did, very much, didn't we? It was quite a hard decision that we've come to. But I think we've more or less decided on house number 1.
I think house number 1 still ticks most of the boxes that we want.
Is it the common that sold it to you? Because that's such an amazing feature.
I think so, because it was beautiful views from the front and also beautiful views from the back. And where it was situated, it was just fantastic, wasn't it?
They kept the house in character with Suffolk. Showing us 3 houses, it's shown me that I actually like the traditional contemporary style. And I walked in house number 1 and I felt relaxed.
With house number 1, will you want to put on an extension to the kitchen to turn it into a kitchen diner? Is that something you're still looking to do?
I think it would need an extension on the kitchen to get my sought-after kitchen diner that I've really hankered after. So that would be a good plus for us, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Also, a little bit of renovation for him there, so he's getting that out of it.
He's got that
So we're sort
fix.
of compromising that way, you know, both getting a little bit of what we want.
Well, it sounds like you're ready to put an offer in.
Well, we'd like to go back and have a look at house number 1, definitely. It was like a piece of string and we was at 2 opposite ends, and we've come to the middle and we're in agreement on house number 1.
Fingers crossed all goes well and we'll hear some good news soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, what a lovely, productive couple of days of house hunting in this rather picturesque county. Debbie and Ken liked all 3 of our properties, even though they're quite different. In the end, it's easy to see why they've decided to pursue house number 1, and we wish them the very best of luck with their plan to start a slightly slower pace of life here in Suffolk. See you next time on Escape to the Country.
Ken and Debbie are still interested in the first house we showed them and are planning to arrange a second viewing as the sale of their own house progresses. If you'd like to escape to the country in Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.